If you've been following my channel for a while, you probably know that I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I absolutely love the series. The prequels are kind of an unloved Star Wars, but for me, I adore them. I adore them for really one character, and that's Sheev Palpatine. Yes, the loving, grandfatherly type character in Episode 1 who takes Anakin under his wing so that he can be all that he can be. Yes, the great man himself. Why am I talking about Star Wars on a Reef Aquarium channel? Because today I've named a coral. Yes, it's called the Insidious Bounce, named after the great man himself, Darth Sidious. Welcome to Mile High Reefers. I'm Scott Anderson, and just like the prequels themselves, this story starts off seemingly simple. I bought a candy cane coral probably 7 years ago or so, back in the early days of the 90-gallon tank. And on that candy cane coral was a little mushroom. In fact, when I bought the candy cane, I didn't even see the mushroom there. But as the candy cane grew, the mushroom grew. And it was a beautiful mushroom. It was teal and burgundy. And as it grew, it started to develop bounce vesicles. And it was beautiful, and I loved it. And as it grew, it killed the original candy cane. And I still loved it. And as it grew, it took over the rock it was on, and I still loved it. In fact, I made a video about this rock a few years ago. It was a cool rock because it had these beautiful mushrooms all over it. They would live in harmony with some of the pallies around them. It was a good thing, but it continued to grow, and as with all Discosoma mushrooms, they slowly began to release off of that rock. And they blew around the tank, and they landed everywhere in the tank. At first, I wasn't worried about it. It wasn't a big deal. I even took some of the mushrooms and put them in the low light areas so they could fill in. And it looked beautiful, and it was great. But these mushrooms, they continued to grow, and they continued to take over until I realized they were a plague. They grew into my Euphilia garden, and they killed my Euphilia. We're talking about a mushroom killing Euphilia. Usually it's the other way around. Hammers and frog spawn are pretty tough corals. They're known for killing what's around them, but not with the Sidious Bounce. He looks harmless, but he can kill. They continued to grow, and in the process, I tried to remove them. I cut them off the rock, removing the rock itself. But mixed in with those pallies, with those mushrooms, were pallies. And in the process of doing that, I gave myself pallytoxin poisoning. Yes, the Insidious Bounce straight up tried to kill me. Let that sink in. It used its neighbors to try and kill me. I love the beauty of this coral, but it is insidious. It continues to grow in this tank to this day. I will try and remove them. I've tried to eradicate them from this tank, but they are beautiful. I love them. Every time I pull one, it hurts me a little. The bounce vesicles are amazing. They're beautiful. The whole coral is awesome. To be clear, these aren't the nice rhodactis bounce with the different colored bounce vesicles, but the bounce vesicles are actually pretty large. In fact, they're about the same size as the ones on my reef koi bounce, which is a rhodactis. These are Discosoma mushrooms, and they're absolutely gorgeous, but their entire goal is to take over the entire tank, much like their namesake, Darth Sidious. Yes, Darth Sidious enters as a relatively minor character who rises up to overthrow the Jedi. And that's exactly what the Insidious bounce mushrooms want to do. They want you to embrace the dark side. They want you to let them run loose in the tank. They want to take over. They want to kill everything. They are the dark side of reef keeping. Honestly, I love these mushrooms, but they are a plague. They're beautiful, but they are a plague. So I have dubbed them the Insidious bounce. They're beautiful, they're amazing, but they want to take over. They want to kill. They want you to embrace the dark side. So, my question to all of you is, do you want to embrace the dark side? Would you put this coral in your tank? Quick little disclaimer, you're gonna see some flatworms on this coral. The flatworms in my tank, they really don't hurt the coral, but the flatworms in my tank love the Insidious bounce. It's almost like they have their own following, much like a person I know who has claimed unlimited power!